I wasn't snooping. That's the part that makes this so messed up. I wasn't digging through his phone, reading his messages, or doing anything suspicious. All I did was open Instagram, scroll a little, and tap on a meme a friend sent me, something stupid and harmless, one of those, if he breathes he lies, types. And there it was. The comments section was full of anonymous accounts posting their own he she ain't sh*t stories. And one of them had my wedding dress in the background. Dead center. Blurred but unmistakable. I know that dress like I know my own skin. Vintage lace. A small rip near the hem where I stepped on it during our first dance. I even recognized the wall behind me, beige, slightly scuffed, in the corner of the hotel suite where we took photos. I clicked the account. Username @SpicyShadow. No name. No face. Just a grid of edgy memes, bitter relationship jokes, and vague emo captions like, "Trust no one but yourself," and "She plays the victim better than anyone." It was like a digital middle finger. I scrolled. Another post, a quote card that read, "Some women want husbands. Others just want witnesses to their chaos." The caption? "If you know, you know." Below that, a photo of a half-empty wine glass and a plate of the pasta I made last Thursday. The same chipped plate I've been meaning to replace. My stomach dropped. I clicked followers. The account followed maybe 20 people. A few meme pages, a few old high school friends, and 3 burner accounts that looked like they'd been created just to support each other. And one that sealed it. @BackyardPro94. My husband's known Finsta for fantasy football trash talk. He followed it. And he'd liked every single post. I froze. I didn't even know how to process what I was looking at. Was this his? Did he make this? Or was it someone he knew trashing me for sport? My heart started racing in that cold, sweaty way that only happens when your brain realizes something your heart desperately doesn't want to be true. So I did the thing I promised myself I'd never do in our marriage. I opened his phone while he was in the shower. No passcode. Just swipe open. He always said he didn't believe in hiding stuff. Nothing to hide, he'd laugh, tossing his phone on the nightstand like a badge of honor. I went to Instagram. Opened the app. Clicked the account switch icon in the corner. There it was. @SpicyShadow, logged in, last active 3 minutes ago. He was posting about me, from our couch. I couldn't breathe. I didn't look at anything else. I just put the phone back, went into the kitchen, and stood there staring at the sink like I was in a daze. When he walked in, freshly showered, towel slung around his neck, he gave me a casual, "You good?" I said, "Fine." Because I didn't even know how to begin asking, "Hey babe, by the way, are you running a secret Instagram account where you meme-fay our marriage and post passive-aggressive jabs at me to your fantasy football friends?" Instead, I waited. And later that night, when he fell asleep, I sat on the floor of our bedroom and scrolled through every single post. There were photos of my cooking. Captions like, "Another night of overcooked vibes and underwhelming effort." Screenshots of text threads, blurred but clearly ours, where I asked him to pick up milk or reminded him about his mom's birthday dinner. The caption under that one? "She thinks she's my life coach. I think she's my reminder app." And then, buried between the memes and blurry photos, was a selfie. Him in our bathroom mirror. Shirtless, flexing. Caption: "Not all of us let ourselves go." The most liked post on the page. I don't remember falling asleep. I just remember waking up the next morning feeling like I'd swallowed glass. And the craziest part? I still hadn't said anything. Not yet. Because part of me needed to believe there was some other explanation. A dare. A joke. My buddy made it for laughs. But I already knew the truth. It wasn't the post. It was the comments under them. The way he replied to people. The familiarity. The bitterness. The details only he would know. It was him. He created a whole second version of our life. Online, anonymous, filtered through sarcasm and screenshots, and let strangers laugh at me. And now, I don't know if I'm more humiliated or furious. But I do know one thing. I'm done pretending. I thought about waiting. Waiting until the weekend. Waiting until after dinner. Waiting until I could say it calmly and carefully and with the right balance of hurt and poise. But honestly, that ship had sailed the second I saw my lasagna turned into a meme. So instead, it came out on a Tuesday night in our living room mid-Netflix. We were watching some true crime docuseries, ironically about lies and double lives, when I hit pause, set the remote down, and said, "How long have you been running that account?" He blinked. "What account?" "The Finsta. @SpicyShadow. The one where you've been posting about me." He stared at me, blinking like he needed time to come up with the best version of a lie. Then, like clockwork, he went into the first stage, denial. "I don't know what you're talking about." I didn't move. Your fantasy football burner follows it. You're logged into it. I saw it. He paused. I watched the shift in his face, the kind that happens when someone realizes they've been caught so completely that denying it isn't just pointless, it's embarrassing. Then came deflection. You went through my phone? I laughed. That's what you're going with? Wow, he said, throwing his hands up. You invade my privacy and now you're acting like I'm the villain? I couldn't believe what I was hearing. You posted a meme of our wedding photo with the caption, "Should have swiped left." He had the audacity to shrug. It was a joke. I stood up. A joke? You humiliated me. You turned our marriage into content. It's not that deep, he said like I was the one being dramatic. That account has over 2,000 followers. They're just randoms. They're strangers laughing at your wife. At your life. You shared our texts. Our dinners. You even posted about me crying after my miscarriage. That stopped him. For a second he looked shaken. Maybe even ashamed. But then, minimization. I didn't say it was you. That post didn't even mention your name. I sat back down stunned. Do you hear yourself? I was venting. Was a way to cope. You never want to talk about anything, so yeah, I found another outlet. And just like that, we were in the final stage, blame. He started pacing. You're always so critical. Always correcting me. You talk to me like I'm a project. That account, yeah, maybe it was immature, but it was mine. It was the only space I had to be real. I didn't respond. Not because I didn't have anything to say. Because I was too busy realizing that he didn't feel bad. He felt caught. And the difference between those two things? That's where trust dies. I finally said, if you were that unhappy, you could have said something. You could have gone to therapy. You could have written in a journal. You didn't have to perform our life for strangers. He looked down. I didn't think you'd ever find it. I did. He didn't apologize. Not really. Just mumbled, I'll delete it. But that didn't feel like enough. Because deleting the account doesn't delete what it told me. That he'd rather build a world where I was the joke, than build a marriage where we dealt with things honestly. I slept in the guest room that night. Not because I wanted to punish him. But because I couldn't lie next to someone who had spent the past year lying about me. The next day I checked. The account was gone. Deleted. Wiped clean. Like none of it ever happened. But I knew better. Because just like that little tear in my wedding dress, some damage doesn't get undone. It just lives in the fabric. After he deleted the account, he expected things to go back to normal. He made me coffee the next morning. Didn't say anything, just slid the mug toward me and asked, "You need anything before I head out?" I said no. He kissed the top of my head like nothing had happened. Like the meme of me sobbing in a hotel bathroom, captioned, "When she makes everything about her again," hadn't lived online for months. I stared at the coffee. Same ceramic mug I used every day. Same almond milk, same tiny splash of vanilla syrup. Everything looked the same. But I didn't drink it. Because nothing felt safe anymore. For the first few days I went through the motions. Went to work. Folded laundry. Scrolled aimlessly through Instagram. But my brain felt like it was split-screening everything. One half doing life. The other replaying every moment from the past year under a microscope. Had he always been like this? Had I just missed it? I started remembering things I'd brushed off. The way he made fun of me in front of his friends, then said I was being too sensitive. The jokes about my cooking when we had people over. Don't worry, I ordered backup pizza just in case. The times I'd show him a photo of us and he'd say, "Ugh, I look rough, but you look good." Except, I didn't. I looked tired. Puffy-eyed. But I smiled anyway. Was that always sarcasm? Or was it passive cruelty? One night, I sat on the couch and opened my notes app. I started writing down every red flag I had ignored because I didn't want to seem insecure. Every time I told myself, he didn't mean it like that. There were more than I expected. And suddenly, the Finsta didn't feel like a one-off mistake. It felt like a symptom. Of something deeper. Of someone who had been building resentment silently, and then feeding it publicly. I couldn't stop wondering, what else have you told people about me? Because if he was comfortable mocking my texts, my food, my grief, what about our fights? Our intimacy? Our secrets? What if strangers knew more about the cracks in our marriage than I did? I started having trouble sleeping. I'd lie awake at night, hearing the echo of his voice in the hallway and wonder, who is this man really? Because the version of him online, the sarcastic, dismissive, smirking man in the mirror selfies? That wasn't the husband I knew. Or maybe it was. Maybe he just got better at hiding it in real life. Or maybe I got better at pretending not to notice. I finally brought it up again. Come, Claire. We were eating dinner, takeout again, and I said, I've been thinking about what happened. And I need you to understand this wasn't just a dumb joke or online venting. This was emotional betrayal. He didn't look up. I said I was sorry. No, you said you'd delete it. He sighed. What else do you want me to say? I want to know why. Why that account? Why post about me? Why not just talk to me? He finally looked at me. Because every time I bring something up, you make it a thing. You get emotional. You overanalyze. I needed a space where I could be honest. I stared at him. You needed a space where you could humiliate me. That's not what it was. But it is. You mocked me. You made me a character. You let strangers laugh at me. He didn't deny it. Just said, it wasn't about you. It was about how I felt. That's when it clicked. This wasn't just about a Finsta. It was about the fact that he never really saw me as a partner. He saw me as a source of content. A character in his inner monologue. Someone who was supposed to support his story, even if that meant being the punchline. I stood up. I need space, I said. To do what? To figure out if I want to be married to someone who feels safer talking to strangers than to me. He didn't stop me when I grabbed a bag. Didn't follow me when I walked out. Didn't text until the next day. Him, you're overreacting. This is getting dramatic. And that's when I knew I wasn't crazy. I was just finally paying attention. I didn't rush the decision. I didn't storm back in, throw his clothes on the lawn, or post some dramatic message online like, if you know, you know. That's the difference between someone who respects reality and someone who edits it for likes. I stayed at my sister's for a week. Slept on her lumpy couch, ate too much cereal, listened to her say things like, I never liked the way he talked to you anyway, and are you okay? In a way that felt both comforting and unbearable. Because no, I wasn't okay. I felt hollow. Like the foundation I'd built my marriage on had been slowly dug out from underneath me, one sarcastic post at a time. It wasn't the memes that hurt the most. It was realizing that for months he had curated a version of our life that wasn't just private, it was mocking. Like he needed an audience to validate his resentment. And I'd been in the dark. Worse, I'd been the punchline. One night, I sat at my sister's kitchen table and wrote a list. Not of pros and cons, but of truths. Things I knew for sure. I'm not perfect. I get emotional sometimes. I ask a lot of questions. I care deeply. I try. I've always tried. And then I wrote. I deserve someone who talks to me, not about me. I deserve someone who doesn't need a secret account to feel powerful. I deserve respect in private and in public. The next morning I went home. He was there. Watching TV like everything was fine. Like we'd had a tiff about laundry or something petty you shake off after a few days. He looked up. You good now? I said nothing. He muted the TV. You've had your space. Can we stop acting like I killed someone? That's when I realized he still didn't get it. He thought I was mad. I wasn't mad. I was done. I sat down across from him, calm, collected. I'd rehearsed what I needed to say, not to prove a point, but to let myself hear it out loud. You didn't kill someone, I said. But you killed something. He blinked. You killed trust. You killed the version of us that I thought was private, safe, honest. You didn't just make fun of me. You lied to me. Consistently. Publicly. And you let other people join in. He opened his mouth, but I held up my hand. I'm not asking for an apology. I'm not asking for anything. He sat back, jaw tight. So what, that's it? You're leaving over Instagram? No, I said. I'm leaving because you thought that wasn't a big deal. There was no yelling. No slamming doors. I went upstairs, packed a bag, called a lawyer the next day. And I didn't post a thing. No cryptic quotes. No sad selfies. No curated breakup playlist for strangers to decode. Because I finally understood something he never did. Real life doesn't need followers. It needs truth. Now, it's been a few months. The house is quiet but peaceful. I have my own space. I started journaling again, on paper, not online. No captions, no filters. Just me writing things no one will ever see. Because some stories don't need an audience. They just need to be lived fully, honestly, and off-screen. And next time I'm with someone, he'll know that my life isn't content. It's mine.